Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wisconsin Sports Lounge. I am your host, Scott, and this is my co-host, Ryan. During this series, we'll be talking about Wisconsin sports, obviously. Specifically, the Packers, the Brewers, the Badgers, and the Bucks. Yes, the Bucks. Ryan, do you want to give them a little more information on what we'll be talking about?
Gotta put down the Bucks already. Yeah, in this 25 to 30 minute series, every week we're going to try to bring what's the most important things. As today we'll be talking about Packers and Brewers. Other weeks it'll be different as the teams are going on. But we want to talk about what's most important in game, out of game, injury, player, trades, anything that we think that's exciting to us, important to us, and it'll be important to you. And we just love Wisconsin sports, and so we want to talk about all those things.
All right. Let's start off talking about the Packers in that exciting preseason game.
Man, that was a snoozer.
James Starks was probably the only high point, 6 for 49 yards.
Yeah,
and a touchdown, 20 yards.
Yeah, 6 touches, 49 yards, 20-yard touchdown. Pretty much he made the start of the game seem exciting. Kind of took us by surprise because the rest of the game did not match that beginning. But a lot of that is because the big guys weren't playing.
Of course.
Them not having Rodgers in there, not having Lacey in there, and Jordy. Those are the guys that this whole team, the offense, runs around. And not having them in there, chill.
Oh, of course. How do you feel Mike McCarthy holding them out?
I don't think you or I are going to argue much about this, even other fans. These are the guys. Jordy just got a big contract. Rodgers just got a big contract. Lacey is their workhorse. Last thing you want, if anybody didn't watch the game for whatever reason, we don't.
But let's not forget. Football is all about guaranteed contracts. And 4 years 39 does not mean 4 years 39 for Jordy Nelson. That's just side point. So guaranteed contracts are the most guaranteed money. That's what players strive for.
Correct. But if anybody didn't watch it for whatever reason, again, like I said, we won't hold it against you. It was an awful day. It was by the end of the game there was 3 inches of rain. It was constantly pouring down on the field. So, and they of course knew the forecast. They knew, why should we put our big guys in risk of having an injury? Even one series, fluke things can happen. So they made the executive decision that let's just give the backups let's give Flynn, Tolzien, we'll give Starks, who's been a solid backup, the chance to shine.
And James Starks, I want to go in a little bit more with him. I think last year he showed a lot of good signs when he came in for Eddie Lacy. Eddie Lacy, he's the ground and pound, get 3 yards that you need, maybe red zone guy, second goal, whatever. But he made James Starks look very fast. And the years prior, James Starks didn't look like that fast of a running back. But that switch up, I think it's going to be a really good combo this year, especially, having Aaron Rodgers back. Eddie Lacy had to do that with 8 men in the box, with Matt Flynn as your quarterback and Scott Tolzien. That's tough to do.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the perk that the Packers have right now. They've got with the fortune that shined down on them, that Lacey fell to them and has been just a beast, literally crushing and forcing teams to put 8 in the box. It's pretty much made Starks' job very easy as long as he can as long as both of them stay healthy.
And Starks has had a problem with staying healthy. He's had hamstring issues. He's had problems.
Yeah.
But so has Lacey.
Yeah. So that's why, if they can both stay healthy, they've got a wonderful 1-2 punch there. And one that defenses are going to have trouble adjusting to, because one's going to be smash mouth, just plowing right through there. And Starks is going to be more head up, downhill, trying to look for the cut that works for him. And, between those two, it could be a very interesting running season for the Packers.
Speaking of the 8 men in the box with the quarterback battle, Matt Flynn didn't look too good yesterday, and maybe you should be easy on him because it was a downpour the entire game. So it's tough to throw the ball. But Scott Tolzien, he stepped up. He might have a good chance to get that number 2 spot behind Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he's a young kid, played for the Badgers, so he's a state favorite to the people, and people love Flynn from last season. So both of them.
He wasn't a state favorite when he wasn't winning his game last year. We were praying to get Matt Flynn back.
Yeah. But another year under his belt, studying under McCarthy, who's an awesome quarterback coach and a head coach who focuses well on that. And
he does develop quarterbacks very well.
So I think hey, even if he doesn't get the 2, say he does, because they still want Flynn's veterancy. Tolzien still will continue to improve, and he showed, in a wet game where, it was, you could tell from all sides, from every quarterback, running back, punt return, kick return. People were having trouble holding on to that ball in every way. For him to be able to complete 8 of 12 for 124 yards, no matter playing against first stringers, second string, third string, but in downpour like that, you got to give the kid, a tap on the shoulder and say, do it again next week.
Yeah.
So but it's like I said, it's a test. That was what part of the reason why they wanted Rodgers to sit, was to give Flynn and him a chance to pretty much showcase what they've got and how the off season's been for them, and who wants it more. It's always about who wants it more. So,
and sticking with the Packers, earlier this week we hear the old gunslinger is coming back. Coming back in 2015 to be retired. His number is going to be retired inside Lambeau.
Mr. Mulled over retirement every year of my youth. Yeah, I know fans and people who are watching, Packer fans, what if you're a Packer hater and you're just watching this?
Do you still have some against them?
No.
Do you?
Come on.
Do you?
Of course not. Okay. We all experience this. Just like them, we all want this past us. Obviously, you will never forget that Brett won a Super Bowl for us. He gave us a lot of seasons. He gave a lot of heart.
3-time MVP.
And the records that he did, the accolades that he did, good ones, and interception, bad ones.
Hey, if you're gonna have touchdown record, hey, you might as well have the interception record too.
But I think obviously we can argue about all of how Brett lived his life and did everything with football and going to the name of teams we can't even speak of on this series.
And when he was a Minnesota Viking,
did you really just say that? You said Viking?
I said Viking. I understand. I'm sorry. I said Viking.
I'm sorry, viewers.
But
I'm so sorry.
When he was part of the Vikings, yes, he was the enemy. I wanted Clay Matthews.
Breaks legs.
Whoa. Just
that's my high school coach is talking to me.
Hit him.
I'm sorry.
Hit him hard,
all right,
man.
Yeah.
Man,
it's just
come on. Yes, I still see some hostility towards Brett Favre.
It's
been years. It's been years.
Ryan Longwell, I felt the same way, and other people did too.
But I understand his point of it. But he wanted to go to Minnesota to stick it to the Green Bay Packers. I understand that. That's a player with any team. LeBron James did the same thing when he left Cleveland to go to Miami. First time he came back to Cleveland, he wanted to stick it to him. And that's it. That's human nature. I understand it. I think Ted Thompson, had a serious set of cojones to say, you know what, we're going to go forward with Aaron Rodgers, who didn't play. He had that one game where I thought he was going to be really good. The year we went to the NFC Championship, Brett's last year, against the Dallas Cowboys. Brett went down with an elbow injury. Yes, with an elbow injury. And Aaron came in, brought us back, and almost won us that game. We were down 17 to 20 points when Brett left. Yep. And Aaron came back, I think he was 17 to 29, 200 yards, something like that, 2 touchdowns. But he came in and played really solid. And I think that's when Ted Thompson decided, all right, we need to go forward with Aaron Rodgers next season and continue the development of this team. And, 3 years later, they won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, that's what makes this... Obviously, I've been a little negative about it, but that's what makes this kind of a good thing, because Ted Thompson, Ron Wolf, Favre wants Ron Wolf there, but for Ted Thompson, Mike McCarthy,
and Aaron Rodgers was a big
Murphy, Rodgers,
fan of it.
I mean, for all of them to kind of,
it's good that they want to bury the hatchet. He deserves to have his number retired at Lambeau. Yes. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, the Packers Hall of Fame, and obviously he's going to be in the NFL Hall of Fame. But.
And people will argue. I've seen people, heard people. They could have probably waited a couple more years, let the memory of the Viking betrayal,
I think it's been long enough. I think it's time. Bygones are bygones.
Yeah, well,
let's move forward.
That's why I said, for me personally, it didn't matter. It can be this year, it can be next year.
So now the question is, do you think there'll be some boos when he comes back to Lambeau? Do you think there'll be any boos? Because let's not forget, when he got hurt at Lambeau in his last season, the fact when he was limping off, the fans were cheering. I mean, it was brutal.
I think,
but those same fans wanted him to stay.
Yeah, so, that's why I said, I think you will always have those fans who, even when he went to Minnesota, even when he went to the Jets, they still loved him, still bought his jersey, still followed him, gave up on the Packers because of it. And I don't can say what you want about those fans, but they were there. And then there were the others who watched both. They still love the Packers, but they loved Favre. So I think you will. I don't think there's going to be a lot of boos, but there's some people that
I don't think there's going to be many boos at all. I think people.
I think most people want this to just be.
I would hope so.
Just let it go.
16 good years.
Rodgers is now the centerpiece of the whole.
Yeah.
The whole team.
I mean, you can't be really that dissatisfied with Aaron Rodgers' production.
Yep.
I mean.
So I think he will get. There might be a couple people there booing, but if there are, they're going to be just overtaken by all the cheers. I mean, come on. Half my life was Brett Favre.
I mean, that's
majority of us younger
yeah,
people.
For the younger generation, I mean, that's all we grew up on was Brett Favre. Because I mean, in the '80s, I mean, the Packers were losing. I mean,
to most of us, there was
we've only seen the real good side of the Packers. But you go to like '70s and '80s, they weren't a good team. And until Brett came here,
not many players being retiring their numbers.
Yeah, no.
So I mean, it's a good thing. It was a good thing announced this week. It's a good thing that they've got a date set. They can hype it. They can prepare for it. They can get the fans. People. I mean, I read people are already getting hotels signed up.
I know they're already.
I mean, they're doing. Right? People are prepared for this. They're giving them time to do it, and. That'll be I can because it's just not just Wisconsin people who like Brett. Then there were a lot of people across the old gunslinger, like you called him. He was a likable guy. He was a fun guy. He loved the game. So
I'm gonna go back to that team we shouldn't say, the Vikings again. But when he broke the touchdown record to Greg Jennings, they cheered for him. Yeah. That's a classy move. That was a classy move by him.
And that's so I mean I think that'll be a very televised game. That'll be something that nationally they will, ESPN, ABC, whoever it is, whoever ends up getting that game, that will be a huge one. That it'll nationally be watching it and cheering them on.
Look at this. And we're going to move on to the Milwaukee Brewers. Right now, they're 65-53. 2 games up on the St. Louis Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Pirates right now. Every time, they lost the series against the Cardinals. And every time you think they're going to, keep going down. Maybe they just had their good run. They end up winning the next 2 series. Yeah. So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's not just winning 2 series. I mean, like you said, Cardinals are right on their trail. Trailing them just those 2 games, and they lose 2 of those games, just heartbreakers. One by a run, one by 2 runs.
The last game we were up 2. K-Rod blows it in the 9th. Yeah. Lots of 3 runs. That hurts.
Yeah. But that's the thing, so you watch that and you go, okay, Cardinals are just the Brewers' kryptonite. They can't handle it. They always seem to fail. And you're going, crud, whatever you want to say. After the Cardinals, we got the Giants and the Dodgers in a row that are like division leaders, way up there in wild card if they're not division leaders. And you're like, great. We got the Cardinals. Brewers gonna botch. They botched that, and now they play those 2 teams, and shockingly, like you said, they do the opposite of what we always think. We think they're gonna now go into some downward spiral, and they take both series. Don't win. They don't sweep either of them, but 2 out of 3, you're gonna take it against 2 of the better NL teams.
Yeah, you're gonna take 2 out of 3 every time against teams of that caliber.
Yeah.
I mean, and you got to do that at home. If you're gonna play, I mean, on the road, it's gonna be tougher, but at home. You do have to try and get 2 out of 3 against those type of teams if you do want to make the playoffs. And, I mean, the Dodgers' quality pitching, so same with the Giants. The Giants have one of the best pitching staffs in the league, let's be honest. And so does the LA Dodgers. I mean, with Clayton Kershaw, who unfortunately we lost today. Yeah. I mean, he's still hurts. He's 14-2.
It was only hours ago for us. It hurts.
Yeah. but beating Cranky.
Yeah,
That was a big second game of the series because that was really a swing game because you almost have to say, yeah, we're not going to win that third game.
Well, and beating Greinke one alone is an accomplishment, but you could talk about this. Garza, who should have been pitching in that spot, he's been on the DL for 15 days, and now, as we find out,
he's going to be there probably longer. Ron Reinke's saying he hasn't even pitched. I mean, he hasn't even pitched yet. They want to make sure he has no pain before he pitches. So, and we're talking. It's going to be close to the 15 days, and he hasn't even thrown a pitch. So, I mean, who knows? Who knows how long he could be out? He could be out another month. I don't know.
But the positive of that is, as I was going the other day, looking ahead at the games, 4 days before this game, I saw I was to be announced. They didn't even have a pitcher at that slot yet, and the next day I find out Mike Fire is a guy who we got used to him last year, a young kid that came up.
2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago he came up. I think he was 8 and 9.
Yep.
I think his first 7. I think his first 2 months of the season, 3 months of the season, he was unhittable. Yep. He had like a 1.8 ERA or something like that, and we're like, are you kidding me? This guy doesn't have that great of stuff. I mean, he throws 89, 90 mile an hour fastball, good changeup, stuff like that. Yeah. But it's like, how are people not hitting him? And then they saw him again, and he got rocked.
Yep.
And last year he struggled a little bit, but yeah, he stepped up really well in the game through 8 innings, 1 run.
Yeah, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk only.
I mean, that's the key to him was throwing strikes.
Yep.
If he throws strikes, he has to pound that strike zone, because if he can't be walking people because he is susceptible to home run, and he let up a solo home run. Yep. So if he can keep people off the bases by walking them, he'll be in good shape most of the time.
Yeah. So I mean, like we said, that's the positive that come out of it. The negative is Garza's out, but might be a little longer. But at least we know that maybe we can get Fires in there, and like you said, they won't have seen him in a while, so he can maybe get a couple string of wins together there, and we won't be hurting in that spot like we probably were expecting to when Garza mysteriously went out in the middle of the game a couple weeks back. So,
and I know I said K-Rod, blew a save against the Cardinals, but I mean the guy's got 35 saves now. I mean, he continues to get it done. It may not be pretty. He'll be a guy that walks maybe 1 or 2, allows a hit, but somehow manages to get out of the inning.
Yeah,
it's scary. It's a nightmare for any Brewers fan, because I think that's why he's kind of like a polarizing closer, to say, because he has been susceptible to blown saves because he does walk a lot of people in the ninth. He does do that, but he's done a good job this year. He's an all-star. I mean, 35 saves, and that speaks for itself.
Yep, and that's, I mean, that he did yesterday was that he almost blew that game for. I mean, so it happens. First
and third.
Yep, brings the
time run up the deck. Come on, man.
But that is the beauty of baseball. That's what's exciting about baseball.
If I'm not mistaken, it was first and third with Matt Kemp coming up. Yeah, man, he can hit a ball 400 feet easy.
Yeah, it was so the Brewers, like I said, go back. Obviously this video we're starting today, the first time, but you go back before the All-Star break, and it was just the Brewers were looking awful going into the All-Star break.
They lost 10 out of 11.
I feel like that's what it was. Yeah, but I think that now coming out of the All-Star break, they've looked really good. Their July was much better, much improved.
They definitely did right the ship. It was getting, like I said, when we started the conversation, we were like, okay, no one projected them to be this good. No. People projected them to be 77 to 80 games.
Oh, I thought about that. And I thought coming out of the whole Braun debacle, I thought this team, I thought this team, I don't know how they bounce back. I don't know where they find leadership. I don't know how they, I mean, there was, in the offseason, there was so many, Giovanni Gallardo was maybe going to be traded. I mean, there was going to be such a shakeup. I thought this team, how they've righted that ship is
I think what Bud Selig and Major League Baseball did do that kind of gave Milwaukee a breath of fresh air was getting Ryan Braun to admit that he did do performance-enhancing drugs, because that was just it was just a cloud hanging over Milwaukee, literally, because it would stop for a few months, and then it'd come back. And it would continue to come back until he admitted it. And I thought 60-something games that he had to miss.
Yep.
And when the season was pretty much over for the Brewers anyways, yep. I think he got off really, really lucky. Yep. And I think the Brewers got off really lucky.
Yeah.
And I think...
Yeah. And that's where now we're at, still leading the division. Still got the Cardinals and the Pirates hot in their tail, but holding on to it. And
we have a tough schedule the rest of the season. We face the Cardinals a few times, and
Dodgers again after this upcoming series, and now that leads us to pretty much what we've got for the Brewers upcoming is the Cubs series now that's going.
It's going to be a pretty big 4-game series. Granted, the Cubs aren't playing well this year, but it's always that Chicago-Milwaukee I-94 showdown, no matter what it is.
Irritates me driving anywhere around here and
I don't know
seeing all those Cub fans.
I really don't know how they make that commute every day.
Yeah.
I'd pull my hair out. I mean, not that I have a lot of it, but whatever. You know what I'm saying?
That's why we love Wisconsin.
Yeah, of course.
That's why we love living here. But it's a 4-game series, which is always special. Those games, those are pretty much the whole week is during the work week is devoted to that one team, and then all the I mean, these are two teams that they pretty much hate each other.
Oh,
there's no question, and so it's a exciting one. But
I do think the fans play into that a little bit. I mean, when I've gone to, it's funny when the Cubs fans come up here, they seem crazy, wild. They probably drink too much. It's the tailgating fever, and things get out of control. Yeah. But I've gone to Wrigley, and the fans are fantastic there. I mean,
and I've never experienced that.
It is. I mean, their ballpark food's amazing, and fans are so mellowed out there. It's like when you think of the fans that come up here, it's a completely different thing.
Do you want to marry them? Do you want to be
in
love with them?
Hey,
Wrigley sucks. We hate the Cubs. We're
true.
Brewers fans. I don't care how their fans are nice. They live across the line for us. That's just how it is.
That's true. Cubs suck. Bears suck.
And this year they really have a really down year.
And Bulls suck.
Yeah. Well.
It
is what it is.
I have gotten mad before. I just wanted to throw them a bone. Come on, I don't want to always hate on them. But
see, we Wisconsin people have compassion.
We try to be nice.
Everybody.
We try to be nice.
Yeah,
Come
but
on.
this Cup series, Cubs
I think
really.
it'd be good if we get 2. You're on the road. You want to get 3. Granted,
yes,
you want to sweep out. You want to win every game, but
of course. And the Cubs are having a bad year.
I think they're very capable of getting 3, but at the very least, you have to get 2 out of that series.
Yep. So I mean, I think that's what's crucial now for them is to keep this going. I mean, they're bad. Luke Roy's having a great season. He keeps hitting. I mean, for a catcher, 312 he's got now. It's beautiful that so many guys are stepping up. These young guys, so they got to keep it. And that's why I think
Carlos Gomez having a great year.
Yeah.
Again, he had another great year last year.
Yeah.
But as people saw. To yesterday's game, I mean, he made a boneheaded mistake, and that's what you're going to get base running wise is what I'm saying. I mean,
he's a little crazy.
2 outs, he's trying to steal third when a single's going to drive him in.
Yeah,
that's stupid. But you know what you get out of him. He's a fun, crazy, loves the game kind of guy. He's going to give his heart and soul. He runs hard every time, and that's what you're going to get out of him. He's a great outfielder.
Yep.
And Ryan Braun, speaking of him again, he's batting .285 this year.
Yeah.
And he's having a down year.
And I think
most people would consider that a great year.
Yeah.
He's saying he's.
And I think most people did not even expect anywhere near that from him in the post-steroid era of Braun.
You do. Unfortunately, you do see the power numbers. They're not there.
Yeah.
I mean, because a few years ago, he was driving fastballs outside to left field. Now he's just.
That's what Juice and Dove's viewers. Don't do it.
And now he's just kind of he's more of a singles and doubles hitter for the most part, and he hits them in the gaps. But he's still an RBI machine. I think he's top 10 in RBI still. So I mean, he's still having a great year. And I mean, all the stuff he has to deal with going on the road, people, MVPEDs. Yeah. He has to deal with all the trash talking and all that.
Well, and that's gonna be haunting.
And that's part of it.
His whole career is gonna be like that.
Of course.
That's just how it goes.
And that's why it was good that he, just came clean. And he can start fresh.
Yep. So I mean that's I guess that's our Brewer talk for today as well, because that's
pretty much everything.
they're doing good. They're streaking. We hope that, unlike what we were expecting after the Cardinals game, now going in this Cubs game, they keep it and
hopefully
they don't disappoint us now.
Hopefully next week we're not talking. Yeah, the Brewers lost 4 against the Cubs.
All 4.
Hopefully we're not talking about that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and they're behind the Cardinals, and the Pirates have overtaken them. If that happens in 1 week,
but don't forget though, don't forget the 2 wild cards. You know that was put in place last year. The 2 wild cards. So even if we don't win the division, I mean the Pirates right now are actually in that 2nd wild card position. So 3 teams from the Central Division would actually make the playoffs.
Great. Let's hope it doesn't get to that.
Well,
let's just hope it doesn't get to that.
You always want to beat division winner.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, of course.
All right, and next week we'll be talking about the Packers preseason game against the Rams.
Yeah, and we'll see how the Brewers are doing. Like we talked about today, they got the Cubs coming up. And then after that, when our video happens, they'll be in a deep-minute series with the Dodgers again. And then after all of that, weeks from now, as you wait, as you watch us, you view us, you see us, 3 weeks, the Badgers will be ready. They'll be playing, and we'll be talking all about
Big Ten SEC battle.
We're excited for even more football.
Of course. All right, well, thanks for joining us, and I'm going to go get myself a cold 16-ounce beverage, soda.
I'm going to get myself some cake. We'll see you next week. How's your soda?
Delicious. I want a liter of cola. How's your cake?
This cake ain't no lie.
Cake eater.